progress report says we are at stage 10, paragraph
Mm-hmm.
page 908. Oh, stage 10,
Mm-hmm.
908. Okay, and our last headword was string, new word type of lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yes.
so let's start with our revision. Ready?
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. First question. So, do you think committees are usually able to make better decisions than individuals? Do you think committees are usually able to make better decisions than individuals? Yes or no?
Mm-hmm. No,
I don't think
I don't
committees
think
are
committees
usually able
are usually
to make
people
better
to make
decisions
better
than
decisions
individuals.
than individual.
Very good. And what am I doing? What am I doing? You're coughing.
You are coughing.
Don't worry, I'm okay. Okay. How can certain animals like dogs and horses be trained to behave
Mhm.
in a particular way and do tricks? How can certain animals like dogs and horses be trained to behave in a particular way and do tricks? Certain animals
Certain
like
animals,
dogs and
like dogs
horses
and
can
horses,
be trained
can
to
be trained
behave
to
in a
behave
particular
in a
way
particular
and
way
do tricks
and do
by
tricks
giving the
by
animal
giving the
a
animals
reward each time
reward each
it
time
behaves
it
in the
behaves
correct way.
in the correct way.
Where have you ever twisted an ankle? Have you ever twisted an ankle? Yes or no?
Yes,
I've twisted
I've
an ankle.
twisted up my ankle.
Very good. One more. Yes, I've twisted
Yes,
an
I've
ankle.
twisted an ankle.
Very good. In a restaurant, if the food has been cooked well, but it's simply not to your taste, do you call the waiter and complain, or do you just eat what you've been given? In a restaurant, if the food has been cooked well, but it's simply not to your taste, do you call the waiter and complain, or do you just eat what you've been given? In a
Hmm.
restaurant,
In a
if the
restaurant,
food
if
has
the
been
food
cooked well,
has been cooked
but
well,
it's simply
but it's
not to
simply
my taste,
not to my taste,
I
I just eat
what I've
what
been given.
I've been given.
Very good. What's the opposite of brave or courageous person? What's the opposite of a brave or courageous person? The opposite
The
of a
opposite
brave
of a
or
brave
courageous
or a
person
courageous
is
person
a coward.
is a coward.
Very good. Okay, what happens to iron when it's left in a damp atmosphere? What happens to iron when it's left in a damp atmosphere? When iron is
When
left
iron is left
in a damp
in a
atmosphere,
damp
it
atmosphere,
rusts.
it rusts.
Very good. Why would a stroke from an axe cut deeper into a block of wood than a stroke from a sword? Why would a stroke from an axe cut deeper into a block of wood than a stroke from a sword?
Mm,
A stroke from an axe.
a stroke of the axe.
Huh? One more. A stroke
A
from an
stroke
axe
from an axe
would cut deeper
would cut
into a
deeper
block of wood
into a block of wood
than a stroke
than
from
a
a sword
stroke from a sword
because an axe
because an
is much
axe
heavier
is much
than a
heavier
sword.
than a sword.
Very good. How many strokes of the pen does it take to form the capital letter N? How many strokes of the pen does it take to form the capital letter N? It takes three
It takes
strokes
3 strokes
of the pen
of the
to
pen
form the
to
capital
form
letter
the
N.
capital letter N.
Where do cats enjoy being stroked? Do cats enjoy being stroked? Yes, cats
Yes,
enjoy
cats enjoy
being stroked.
being stroked.
Very good. Give me an example of the structure it's plus time period plus since plus past tense, please. Give me an example of the structure it's plus time period plus since plus past tense, please. It's 6 months
It's 6 months
since she gave up
since
smoking.
she gave up smoking.
Very good. Now I will name an activity and I want you to tell me how long it is since she last did it, okay? Okay,
Mhm.
again. Swim in the sea. Swim in the sea. It's
It's 5 years
since
since
I swam in the
I
sea.
swam in the sea.
Clean your room. Clean your room.
It's yesterday.
It's 24 hours
It's 24
since
hours
I cleaned my room.
to clean the room.
One more. It's 24
It's
hours
25 hours
since I
since
cleaned
I cleaned
my room.
my room.
Very good. Do physical exercise. Do physical exercise. It's
It's a week
since I
since
did
I did
physical exercise.
physical exercise.
Lose your temper. Lose your temper. It's
It's 3 days
since I lost my
since
temper.
I lost my temper.
Oh, the husband has been good for 3 days. Very good. Cook a meal for other people. Cook a meal for other people. It's
It's yesterday
since I cook a
since
meal
I cook a
for
meal
other people.
for other people.
Fly to another country. Fly to another country. It's
It's 25 years
since I
since
flew
I flew
to another
to
country.
another country.
Very good. What kind of noise does a lion make? What kind of noise does a lion make? A lion make
A lion
a
make
roaring noise.
a roaring noise.
Very good. Would a car stand still on a slight slope without its brakes on? Would a car stand still on a slight slope without its brakes on? No, a car
No,
wouldn't
a car wouldn't
stand still
stand
on a
still
slight slope
on a slight slope
without its
without
brakes on.
its brakes on.
What would happen to it? What would happen to it? It would begin
It would
to,
begin
to roll slowly
to roll slowly
down the slope.
down the slope.
Very good. And if the slope was very steep, what would happen? And if the slope was very steep, what would happen? If the slope
If the slope
was very steep,
was very
the
steep,
car would
the
gather
car would
speed
gather speed
and eventually
and eventually
crash into something.
crash into something.
Very good. Is the soil deep on the side of a mountain? Is the soil deep on the side of a mountain? No. The soil
No,
isn't
the
deep
soil isn't
on the
deep
side of a
on the
mountain.
side of the
It's
mountain.
shallow.
It's shallow
Very good. Why? Why? Because a lot of
because
it
a lot of
gets
it
washed away
gets washed
by
away
rainwater.
by rainwater.
Very good. In the past, what did a soldier carry to protect himself against enemy swords? In the past, what did a soldier carry to protect himself against enemy swords? In the past,
In the
a
past,
soldier
a
carried a
soldier
shield
carried a shield
to protect himself
to protect himself
against enemy swords.
against the enemy shows.
Very good. What are the three forms of bleed? What are the three forms of bleed? The three forms
The three
of
forms
bleed
of
are
bleed
bleed,
are
bled, bled.
bleed, bled, bled.
Very good. When you cut yourself, what do you put over the cut to stop it bleeding? When you cut yourself, what do you put over the cut to stop it bleeding? When I cut
When I
myself,
cut
I
myself,
put a plaster
I put a
over
plaster
the cut
over the
to
cut
stop it bleeding.
to stop it bleeding.
Very good. Is it forbidden to spit in the streets in your country? Is it forbidden to spit in the streets in your country? Yes or no?
No,
It isn't
it isn't
forbidden to
forbidden
spit in the
to
streets
spit
in
in
my
the street
country.
in my country.
Wait, what are the three forms of spit? What are the three forms of spit? The three forms
The three
of
forms
spit
of
are
spit
spit,
are
spat,
spit,
spat.
spat, spat.
Very good. How often do you comb your hair? How often do you comb your hair? I comb my hair
I cut my hair
about.
about every day.
Very good. What do we use rubber for? What do we use rubber for? We use rubber
We use rubber
for making
for
car
making
or
car
bicycle
or
tires,
bicycle tires,
etc.
etc.
Very good. What can we use a ribbon for? What can we use a ribbon for? We can use a
We
ribbon
can use a ribbon
for tying up
for
presents,
tying up a present,
and a small girl
and a small girl
might wear a
might
ribbon
wear a ribbon
in her hair.
in her hair.
Very good. What's the difference between the word thing and the word stuff? What's the difference between the word thing and the word stuff? The difference between
The difference
the
between
word thing
the word
and the
thing
word stuff
and the word
is
stuff
that thing
is that
is a
thing
countable
is
noun,
uncountable noun,
whereas stuff
whereas stuff
is an uncountable
is
noun.
uncountable noun.
Very good. Give me an example of the word stuff. Give me an example of the word stuff, please. I need to pack
I need to
all
pack
my stuff
all my
for
stuff
the holiday.
for the holiday.
We talk about
We talk about
lots of interesting
lots of
stuff
interesting stuff
during the train journey.
during the train journey.
Have you got lots of stuff to do tomorrow? Have you got lots of stuff to do tomorrow? Yes or no?
Yes,
I've got
I've
lots
got
of stuff
a lot of
to
stuff
do tomorrow.
to do tomorrow.
Wait, what kind of stuff does your country manufacture? What kind of stuff does your country manufacture? My country
My country
manufactures
manufactures cars.
Very good. When you go to a restaurant, what type of stuff do you like to eat? When you go to a restaurant, what type of stuff do you like to eat? When I go to a
When I
restaurant,
go to a
I
restaurant,
like to eat.
I like to eat Japanese meal.
Very good. What kind of stuff do you enjoy doing at the weekends? What kind of stuff do you enjoy doing at the weekends? At the
Mhm.
weekends,
At the
I
weekend,
enjoy.
I enjoy cycling.
Very good. Healthy. Okay. What do we call the three main parts of a cooker? What do we call the three main parts of a cooker? We call
We
the
call
three main
the three
parts.
parts,
One more.
three,
We call
we
the
call
three
the
main
three
parts
main
of
parts
a cooker:
of a
the
cooker:
hub,
the
the
hub,
grill,
the grill,
and the oven.
and the oven.
And which part would you use if to roast a chicken? And which part would you use to roast a chicken? I'd use the
I'd use
oven
the
to
oven
roast a chicken.
to roast a chicken.
Very good. What do we call the main part of the body, not including the head, arms, or legs? What do we call the three main parts of the body, not including the head, arms, or legs? We
Mhm.
call
We
the
call
main part
the main
of the
part
body,
of the
not
body,
including the
not
head,
including a head,
arms, or
arms,
legs,
or legs,
the trunk.
the trunk.
Very good. Consequently, what is a tree trunk? Consequently, what is a tree trunk? A tree trunk
A tree trunk
is the main part
is the main
or
part
body of a
or
tree.
body of a tree.
Very good. What do we mean by a trunk used for traveling? What do we mean by a trunk used for traveling? By a trunk
By a
used
trunk
for traveling,
used for
we
traveling,
mean a
we
large,
mean
strong
a
box,
large, strong box
bigger than a suitcase,
bigger than a
that
suitcase
we use
that we
for
use
transporting
while
our
transporting
belongings
our
from
belongings
one place to
from
another.
one place to another.
What do we call an elephant's nose? What do we call an elephant's nose? We call
We
an
call
elephant's
an
nose
elephant's nose
a trunk.
a trunk.
Very good. What do we call the outer covering of an egg or a nut? What do we call the outer covering of an egg or a nut? We call
We
the
call
outer covering
the outer
of
covering
an egg
of an egg
or a nut
or nut
the shell.
the shell.
Very good. Were you shy with adults as a child? Were you shy with adults as a child? Yes or no?
Yes,
I was shy
I was
with
shy
adults
with
as a
adults
child.
as a child.
Would you agree that in general a person's shyness diminishes as they become more mature? Would you agree that in general a person's shyness diminishes as they become more mature? Yes or no?
Yes,
I'd agree
I'd
that
agree that
in general
in
a
general
person's
a
shyness
person's shyness
diminishes as
diminishes
they become
as they
more
become
mature.
more mature.
Very good. The most modern farms use machines to sow seeds in the land. Do most modern farms use machines to sow seeds in the land? Yes. Most
Yes,
modern farms
most modern
use
farms
machines
use
to
machines
sow seeds
to
in the
sow
land.
seed in the land.
Very good. What are the three forms of sow? What are the three forms of sow? The three forms
The
of
three
sow
forms of
are
sow
sow,
are
sowed, sowed,
sow, sowed, sowed,
or sow, sowed,
or
sown.
sow, sowed, sowed.
Very good. What do we use to wrap up a parcel? What do we use to wrap up a parcel? We use
We
cardboard,
use cardboard,
paper, sticky tape,
paper,
string,
sticky tape,
etc.
string,
to
etc.
wrap up a parcel.
to wrap up a puzzle.
Very good. Should we wrap up well when we go out in cold weather? Should we wrap up well when we go out in cold weather? Yes,
Mhm.
we
Yes,
should wrap up
we
well
should wrap up
when
well
we go out
when we go
in
out
cold weather.
in cold weather.
Very good. And that's the end of our revision. Let's have new
Mhm.
word. Very good. Okay, repeat. Bribe.
Bribe.
Very good. Okay, listen. Bribe is a noun. It
Mm-hmm.
is something like money or any expensive things, valuables that are given
Mm-hmm.
to someone to do something. For
Mm-hmm.
example, some politicians give money to the people in order for the people to vote for them in the election.
Mm-hmm.
They give
Oh.
bribes to people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's practice. If you are if you are in an important position in the government, would you accept
Mm-hmm.
bribes? Well, if you are in an important position in the government, would you accept bribes? Yes or no?
No.
If I
If
were
I
in
were
an important
in an important
position in the government,
position in
I would
government,
accept
I
bribes.
would accept right.
Yeah, me, I'll accept. Just joking. Next, repeat. Department.
Department.
Very good. Okay, listen. Department is a noun. For example,
Mhm.
a department store. When we say a department store, it is an
Mhm.
area in a large store that sells certain types
Mhm.
of goods. So they have different departments like the shoe department, they have the kids
Mhm.
clothing department, they have the
Mhm.
chocolate department, school supplies
Mhm.
department, etc. That's why they're
Mhm.
called department store.
Mhm.
Let's practice. If you were a sales assistant in a large department store, which department would you most enjoy working in? If you're a
Mhm.
sales assistant in a large department store, which department would you most enjoy working in? If I were a
If I
sales
were
assistant
a sales
in a
assistant
large department
in a
store,
large department
I'd
store,
most enjoy
I'd most enjoy
working in the
working in the food
department.
department.
Yeah, me too.
Mm.
Okay, next repeat.
Mm.
Threaten. Okay,
Threaten.
what? Threaten.
Mm. Threaten.
Like to threaten.
Ah, threaten.
Very good.
Threaten.
Next, threat.
Threat.
We're gonna, okay, listen. Threaten is a
Mhm.
verb.
Mhm.
It means to say or to do something that can harm someone. For example,
Oh.
I'm
Mhm.
threatening to hit someone with my hand.
Mm. Mhm.
The woman was threatened by the thief with a knife. Okay, so that's threaten.
Oh. Mhm.
Threat is the noun of the verb threaten because threaten is a verb. For
Mhm.
example, the woman received a threat from a thief. He said that he
Mm.
would kill the woman if she didn't give her purse.
Mm.
Another example, a threat to kill someone is considered a serious crime in other countries.
Mhm.
Let's practice. Okay, what am I doing? What am I doing? You're threatening
You are
to hit
threatening
somebody
to hit
with your
somebody
hand.
with your hand.
Very good. If a robber threatened you with a knife or a gun, what would you do? If a robber
Mhm.
threatened you with a knife or a gun, what would you do? If a
Mhm.
robber
If a robber
threatened me
threatened me
with a knife or a
with a
gun,
knife or a gun,
I'd
I'd give a robber some money
very good. All the money. Okay, next.
and run away.
And run away very
Run
fast.
away.
Very good. Next. Is a threat to commit murder considered a serious crime in many countries, even if the murder never actually takes place?
Mhm.
Is a threat to commit murder considered a serious crime in many countries, even if the murder never actually takes place? Yes. A
Yes,
threat to
a
commit
threat
murder
to commit
is
murder
considered a
is
serious
considered
crime
a serious
in
crime
many countries,
in many countries,
even if the murder
even if the murder
never actually takes
never
place.
actually takes place.
Very good. Okay, next. Okay, so let's have
Mhm.
let's talk about communicating general
Mhm.
beliefs and opinions. Okay.
Communicating general beliefs and opinions.
Yeah, when we
Mhm.
say general beliefs
Mm.
and general opinions, it's like the belief of many people and the opinion of
Mhm.
many people. That's why it's general. For
Oh.
example, the common belief or general belief or opinion of people is it is known that dogs are clever, right? It's general. All
Mm.
people think
Mm.
dogs are clever and that's their
Mhm.
opinion.
Mhm.
Or
Mm.
we can also say dogs are known to be clever. Okay,
Mhm.
so let's practice. So instead of saying people in general know that dogs are clever, so
Mhm.
instead of saying this one, we can also say it is known that dogs are clever.
Mhm.
Or we can also say dogs are generally known to be clever.
Mm.
So they have the
Generally
same
no.
meaning.
Mhm.
Okay, we can use both these structures with several verbs such as say, believe, think, know, feel, consider, etc.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's practice. What can we say instead of the sentence, people in general know that dogs are clever? What can we say instead of the sentence, people in general know that dogs are clever? Instead
Mhm.
of the
Instead
sentence,
of the sentence,
people in general
people in
know
general
that dogs
know that dogs
are clever.
are clever.
We can say
We can
it
say
is known
It is
that
known
dogs are clever,
that dogs are clever,
or dogs are known
or dogs are
to
known
be clever.
to be clever.
Very good. What can we say instead of people say that president speaks seven languages? What can we say instead of people say that the president speaks seven languages? Instead of
Mhm. Instead
people
of,
say
people
that
say
the president
that the
speaks
president
seven
speaks
languages,
seven
we can
languages.
say
We
it is
can use
said that
it is said
the
that
president speaks
the president speaks
seven languages,
seven
or
languages,
the president,
or president
or the president
or the
is
president
said to speak
is said to speak
seven languages.
seven languages.
Very good. Okay, so now let's move on
Mm-hmm.
to reading.
Okay.
Okay, so our reading is at stage 8, paragraph page 622. Okay, and our last
28.
headword was account. 22.
Count. Oh,
Account.
okay.
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
start with the question. Do you have an
Mm-hmm.
account at any shops?
Mm-hmm. Oh, do you have an account at any shops? A shop. Yes, I have an account at any shop.
At some shop.
At some shop.
Very good.